Hey guys, Leona here with Empowering Wellness. Welcome to my new 6-week series on empowering wellness. I will be sharing this live in my Empowering Wellness Facebook group, which is my new high vibe tribe. So if you are not a member yet, make sure you click Empowering Wellness and join. When you join, you can get a free theta healing meditation. So make sure you remember to put your email in there. So tonight, I have Dr. Ellen, who is a living embodiment of transformation, blending the power of healing with the creative expression of love. And I'm going to be bringing her on camera. I'm going to send her the invite. Make sure you click on that. You are here. I just can't see your face, so make sure you just click on bring on camera.
It's giving me two options of cancel or leave broadcast.
Let me put my ear things in so I can hear you. I love lives, but I don't put my earbuds in. I can't hear you guys as well. All right. And is there a little option for you to click bring on camera? I'll try one more time. Not sure why it's saying it won't send invites. Here we are. Perfection. Perfection. Welcome.
I couldn't figure out what, because I haven't done a live before on Facebook. So let me just,
Yes.
my camera propped up here so I don't have to hold it. Or knock it over, one of the two.
Right? I know. It's always fun. I have like the earbuds in, the light ring on, the mic on, you have to push the tripod back far enough. It's fun. It's fun going live. So welcome guys. We are live. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Empowering Wellness. My name is Leona, and I am introducing Dr. Ellen, who is a living embodiment of transformation, blending the power of healing with the creative expression of love. Once a clinical pharmacist with a degree from Duquesne University, where is it? Duquesne University, Ellen broke away from the confines of Western medicine to embrace holistic energy healing. With over 25 years of personal healing experience, she has turned her own childhood trauma into a radiant source of love, joy, and freedom. Now, Ellen guides women to shed the baggage of their past and break free from the grip of addiction through profound healing. As the founder of Lightness1All Holistic Healing Center, Ellen uses a dynamic blend of advanced techniques like light language, sacred geometry, Seashell Healing, Neuro-Emotional Techniques, and root cause coaching. These powerful methods help clients reconnect with self-love, self-acceptance, and a deeper sense of purpose. Paving the way for healing, growth, and lasting transformation, an ordained minister with a doctorate in theology from Holos University. Ellen brings a bold blend of spirituality, creativity, passion, and compassion to everything she does. Her mission is clear: to empower others to heal deeply, love themselves fully, and step into the most vibrant, authentic lives. And we are lucky enough to have her here live with us. So welcome, my dear.
I'm happy to be here, Leona. Thank you so much for hosting this.
Yes, absolutely. It's so exciting to get to know more of my members of Empowering Wellness and connecting with more like-minded people. Both Ellen and I are taking an amazing empowerment coaching program with the Genius Unlocked program, and it's been so great being laid up, in recovery, but also having this amazing platform to connect with other like-minded people, to practice, to do healing and coaching with each other, because as you know, every coach needs a coach. So as we're learning and practicing, we're getting a chance to practice on each other. And it's been so amazing to be able to do healing in a whole different and another level, right? Because we're layers, right? We're onions, right? There's levels and layers that we have to get to. And it's so amazing to have so many different modalities to be able to get us to the end, which, like you said, is that empowerment, right? And that really resonates with me, obviously, with my business called Empowering Wellness. It's all about learning how to take healing into your own hands, getting the tools, getting the facilitators and the practitioners that you need to really be able to facilitate a true empowered healing experience. So as soon as we met, I knew that we were on the same vibe and frequency. So tell me, my dear, what is it in this amazing world that has brought you here today? Where is the real passion that lies within that got you into this? This is where we learn beyond the bio, that got you where you are today. Like, give us the little like Cliff Notes version story of how you got
Give you a little
to
bit of the Cliff Notes version.
Healing. Yeah.
Well, one, I'm excited to soon be joining you in Florida, in sunny Florida, from the great northern state of Ohio, where I grew up. So I was born in Cincinnati, raised in Steubenville. So I was relinquished for adoption at birth and raised by an adoptive family who truly wanted me and truly wanted my brother, because as an adoptee, they really have to do something to make that happen. And that's a whole process. And, you know, like all of us, they had their issues. And unfortunately, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, mental health didn't have the forefront that it has now.
Very
so
true.
Addictions, alcoholism, even high functioning alcoholism, and that was probably my father. And my mother probably is borderline personality disorder. So, you know, I think there's so many tools that we have now that may have helped them then, that they didn't have. So, you know, we do the best with what we have. And as a child growing up in that kind of environment, that although there was love, there was also this element of unpredictability, and that uncertainty leads, at least it led for me to feel unsafe. And so in my desire to have what we all need, which is safety and love and connection, I became a people pleaser, perfectionist, and codependent. You know, and those things helped me survive,
right?
And they got me a long way in life. The perfectionism obviously drove a lot of the education that I've achieved, you know, also out of that feeling of not good enough. So, and changing my own habits, patterns, and beliefs, those beliefs that, you know, we are all children of God. So from that standpoint, we're all worthy. We don't have to prove anything. We're worthy just for the beings that we are. And it has taken me a long time to really embody that, and to really be empowered by that knowledge. And so now that I have that freedom in my own life, that authenticity, that not, you know, not dimming down myself to fit in, to be accepted, to not wave waves, to keep the peace, to hopefully, you know, mitigate some of the chaos that I grew up in. I did a lot of things to try to mitigate that. And, you know, but in that process, I lost myself. And so it has been quite a journey to rediscover, you know, who I am underneath all of that, all of those patterns and beliefs that got made up by a really young mind that didn't have all the tools that she needed that I do now.
Exactly. I love that.
And I'm sure
it really
that's a lot of what you do with Empowered Wellness.
Yeah, and I love that you said it's a journey, because I always say healing's a journey. You know, there's lots of steps, there's lots of layers, there's lots of process with it. And it really is a journey. And the more tools that we have, the more knowledge, the more power, the more empowered that we become. And yeah, our little inner children stuff, that's why my inner child healing work has been so important for me. And I'm having a virtual retreat at the end of the month is so key, because those inner children of ours still exist, and those little voices in our head. And so we need to give them new tools and to help heal on a different layer. And remember that we were fun and vibrant, and there's play, and that we're child, and there's wonder and curiosity and adventure and all these things that lie within us. We just forget because other things get layered on, or we get told, or, you know, those beliefs that, you know, all of a sudden we think like, is that really my belief? Like, do I really believe that? Or was that something I heard? And I heard so much that all of a sudden I started believing it, right? And so a lot of times people aren't aware of it. And that's what's been so fun in my journey as well, is learning that we can help that. And when we heal now, we're healing that inner child, and we're healing forwards and backwards, and all the levels and all the languages and all the lifetimes and all the versions of us and names of us over the lifetimes, right? So it is really quite empowering to know that we can get tapped into these tools and have this experience. So speaking of experiences and things that are fun, what are some of your hobbies that you like to do that like celebrates that inner child, or things that you like to do in the world for fun and play? Because it can't all be about work. Yes, most of us that are healers, you know, spend a lot of time in the healing realm, but we need to have a little play, a little fun. So what are some of those fun hobbies and interests that you have?
And I believe in that too. The things that really bring us joy, that bring out that playfulness and that curiosity that we can get lost in, those types of activities are really what feeds our soul. And when we feed our soul, then that energy radiates out into everything else in our lives. So some of the things that give me the greatest joy is I make handmade greeting cards using decorative rubber stamps, ink, and paper. I like to say I send love through the mail, because they're made with love and then they're sent.
I love
So that's a hobby, and it's also a side business for me. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 20 years now. And that's one of my greatest joys. And one of my greatest joys is teaching classes and giving the supplies to someone, and they take a blank piece of paper, and then in less than 15 minutes, they come out with something that they're really proud of and they feel really accomplished. And to see that surprise and delight, like, wow, I actually did this. You know, it's that childlike wonder and awe and excitement that you can bring back, even
awesome.
adults. And then the other thing is horseback riding. I was actually at my horseback riding lesson this morning. So I'm like really pumped up and filled with joy because I had a really good lesson. And then the last is relaxing on the beach with a good book. And that's in my future, coming sooner than I think.
Yes. Yes. Come down to the Sunshine State, you know?
Yes.
Yes, we all got a storm, but it's funny. The storm went all the way up to Ohio. So, you know, everybody's like, oh, but Florida's got storms. I'm like, yeah, but apparently the storms go all the way to Ohio.
Yeah, it's
so
been raining here for like 3 days. So, right? Yeah, Helene's up here. Well, the remnants of Helene are up here now. So,
exactly.
Unfortunately, not doing the damage. And really, my heart goes out to all of those 100%. That were in the path of her. And someone just sent as I was getting on Facebook, I saw an inn at Cedar Key that had water up to the roof line, and I believe it's not reopening, and that is heartbreaking.
Yeah, so we definitely send our love and care for everyone that was affected by it. Big hugs, virtually, energetically, for all that need that extra support and love right now, because that was really, really tough. But horseback riding, that is so fun. I was a city girl, beach girl, you know, that only went and visited my cousins that had horses. And, you know, I'd be in like my little khaki shorts and flip flops and little tank tops, and they're looking at me like, you're going to ride like that? I'm like, what? This is how I dress, right? Like, speaking of inner child, like, I just remember being like, I am really, truly a fish out of water. Like, I loved the horses, but I didn't know what, like, riding wear was, or clothes or anything. That was just so foreign. I mean, I had clothes on. I mean, for a girl growing up in Daytona that spent most of her time on the beach surfing, I mean, I had clothes on. I felt like I was dressed, right? Like, I had more than a bathing suit on, right?
I was going to say, you're not in a bathing suit.
Exactly.
Well, and since I I won a package this summer that included the horseback riding lessons. So I didn't even buy a riding helmet because I figured I was going to do 5 lessons and be done. And so I still use a bike helmet.
Oh my
It
God,
is
I
safety
love it.
rated high enough that that it works for horses too.
Well, there we
But
go. We learn something new every day. That's
exactly.
awesome. That's awesome. So we talked a little bit about your family dynamic on how that sort of shaped you into being the healer that you are today. Currently, what is your family dynamic and how does that play a role into your business, into your life, into your hobbies? Like, some people have, children that do things with them or partners and things like that. How does your family play a role into the play or business or work? One of my practitioner friends, it's so funny, his wife actually used to help me with some of my website stuff, is like helps him with his websites and emails. And I always love learning like little ins and outs about people's family dynamics and how they've either shaped them or created them or inspired them or motivated them to do something different. So what is your motivations with your families recently? How's that working for you?
Well, I've got a couple cousins who have been in the throes of addiction. So, it's addiction is up close and personal, not only with, the family that raised me, but with cousins. So it really is a passion of mine to help people heal what I feel is the trauma, the wounds that run under addiction, because I believe that when you heal the wounds, then the addictions release themselves. So if your addictions aren't resolving, to dig a little deeper and see what's under it, what's driving them, from an emotional or physical standpoint. I'm sure that you and probably a lot of your listeners are familiar with the Body Keeps Score, that book, and really, I mean, everything that happens to us, if we don't energetically clear it, as you've already talked about, it gets stored in our bodies, and over time you get enough stored and the body system will get sluggish and slow down, and a lot of times it causes a lot of physical pain and discomfort, or emotional pain and discomfort. And so it's just human nature to want to relieve that pain, and when we do, it's usually in the form of drugs or alcohol or shopping or gambling. Anything, even our phones, can be a distraction and an addiction that keeps us from feeling our feelings and our pain. And my experience has been, if you can name them, if you can feel them, you can heal them.
That's been a biggest thing of mine, is you got to feel it to heal it, right? And then that embodiment part of it, right? So we want to embody the healing with movement and breath and play. But also what happens is that trauma, like we said, gets stuck in the body, and as a body worker, energy worker, it's amazing how many emotions get stuck in the body. And when they're having a physical release, like I'm working on a shoulder, something like that, then all of a sudden, like their heart chakra, they start crying, so other things start opening up and moving, and they didn't even realize that was associated with this and connected and goes through it. And so it is important, the embodiment part of healing, both understanding that it stays trapped until we release it physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And also when we embody the healing, we take our healing to the next level and actually bring it in to then remind our physical form, our 3D form, what it feels like to feel good, like to be able to move with ease and grace and love and joy and play and have that childlike wonder. I mean, for me, obviously with my, legs right here, I can't wait.
That's not a lot of fun right now, but
like I can, bed dance, chair dance all I want, but that's about it right now. I'm so limited. And so I know for me, like, the healing is so important on this journey is to then really embody it and feel it and have more capability and ability to actually move my body with more ease and grace. Like I can't wait to I have that flexibility and that play. I literally hurt myself dancing, and to dance again, like it's just I cannot wait. So yeah, the embodying of it. And I think that's where I really like my singing bowls and ecstatic dance and experiential things where people can feel it in the body with healing. Have you ever had those types of experiences where you actually like feel the frequency and the vibration, you embody that healing, those vibrations and those notes? I mean, obviously I'm wearing my quantum
I,
frequency device, doing my
I,
joint bone, right now with the healing. I mean, there's so many different ways to like really feel, right? The frequency,
right.
the vibration, the healing, and embodying that, I think, is such a key part that a lot of people miss.
Yeah, and to shift, just our energy. I mean, I think a lot of people are familiar with that thing of the feeling, oh, I'm just feeling down. That's a less sense of energy, and then you're feeling up, you're feeling more energy. So, energy really is a big part of our lives, and the level that we vibrate at. And as you said, there's so many ways that we can shift that.
Yeah, I think that, and
But
that's such
that's
a
to answer your question. Yes, in fact,
mhm.
I was on a retreat in Mexico 2 weekends ago, and we did sound bowl healing there, and a lot of movement and moving energy that way with either music or yoga. And then I came back and did a sound bowl and breath work healing on Sunday night, and it was just amazing to be in that energy and to allow that to vibrate through my body, and to allow my body to release. I've been shaking a lot, and I think a lot of it is just releasing the energy that has just been stored and trapped in my body for a long time, and I'm just allowing it to go.
Yay, the allowance, right? Allow, guys, allow
Um,
the healing to take place.
yes.
So tell me, what are some of the fun passion projects that you're working on right now? Do you have any coaching programs or master classes or retreats? Like for me, I'm working on my virtual retreat at the end of the month on the 27th. I'm so excited. I like to do stuff on Sundays. I call it my Sunday self-care day. So I decided to make the retreat on the Sunday so we could like fill into ourselves to give back. So what are some of the passion projects that you're working on right now?
So I have a couple. I do a call the first Saturday of every month, except for this Saturday. It is World Card Making Day. So I am going to spend the day playing and making cards, and also
Yay.
selling some of my retired Stampin' Up stuff. But normally the first Saturday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do a self-love tune-up call. So we tune up our cars and other pieces of equipment, but oftentimes we forget to tune ourselves up. And so like your Sunday fill up day,
Mhm.
it's my Saturday tune up day.
I love
Then
that.
I have two courses. I have a 5-week from simply surviving to radically thriving. And that is my foundational course to get people to really tune into their body, to figure out what they really need to be their optimal and best self in body, mind, and spirit. And then I have an 8-week pathway to freedom, and it is a create your own self-love toolbox. And we go through the 7 chakras one by one, and make sure that at every level of our body, we are attuned to the best energy and the best frequency that we can be, and then do a wrap up on week 8.
I love that. So two really big programs that people can tap in, and as we know, each of the weeks that you're meeting, right? You get to go a little deeper, a little bit more, like other layers coming in. And what I really like about group online things that I've now experienced being in this environment of healing for so many months and at home is that all the people that you're connecting with in the group settings for the healings, all learning from each other, have similar kind of experiences. Sometimes we all like feed off of each other. It's like such a cool energetic space to be in, because I thought I'd really miss that. Not having my in-person events that I normally would host once a month. And I really found that virtually you can really get that same connection, that same bond, that same experience, and all the people that are working with you in those, group environments really truly give something special to each other. So do you
They really
do
do.
yeah, do you do groups and as well as one-on-ones?
So I do one-on-one coaching as well, but most of my focus right now is on my classes. Just for what you said, I think there's a real synergy and power in sharing with a group, and bringing that, having that safe space that you can create in a group, and sharing And we all have genius inside of us. We all have been around the block. We all know what works and what doesn't work for us. And to be able to have a place where you can come together and share that with other people, I think is really powerful.
Yes. I also believe also in the power of witnessing each other, the law of witnessing each other in the healing too, I think is also a really powerful aspect. So having more eyes on you, actually seeing you healing in that progression is also so powerful with groups. I love that.
Yes.
So what would you say would be the specific clients or people that you serve, and how do you serve them more uniquely than other people? Because there's lots of healers out there. So from your background, it seems like you have kind of a niche with more of addiction type healing. Is that correct?
That's correct. That my focus is on like women in their 40s and 50s who may be transitioning, maybe into being empty nesters or taking care of parents and children and feeling kind of caught between, juggling everything in their lives, and also asking the question, like, is there more? Or why do I feel so stuck? Or why do I keep doing these habits and patterns that are no longer serving me? Am I hungover on Saturday mornings because every Friday night I, drink a bottle of wine to unwind from the week and just take, it's taking time for yourself, but is it taking time for yourself in a way that's really fulfilling you and filling you up? Or is it a way of just escaping from life? So
Right.
really focused on that kind of group of women, to help
Really
them
checking in and
power.
saying, is this escapism or is this a self-care? I like that.
Yeah.
Check in energetically. Is this escapism? Am I avoiding the things, or am I actually doing this because I enjoy it and it's bringing me connection, and there's, other things with it, right? So that's such a good point. And I think that's interesting because, being an adult child of an alcoholic myself, I've never really dove into that as a specialty, with it, because I I I don't think that I really wanted to like focus my energy on that. I've always spent time like wanting to be in the other types of realms in it. And so it's so great to know that there are specialty healers that are focusing on people that need and addiction, because I've tried to go like the opposite. It was in my life, so I'm like, no, I don't want any of that there. I'm gonna put that way over there. There's other people that do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then
and I think
really
I think we all
but
have our passions and the things that bring us joy when we can work with someone, and then if we're lit up, then they get lit up,
yeah.
and if it doesn't light you up, then it's not an area that you
Yep.
need to be working in right now.
I
Yeah.
know. So I love that there are practitioners and, energy healers that are specifically targeting that, because I know that's a huge, huge thing. For me, having play, like that's why my whole like inner child thing that I'm doing now is differently. It's like healing through the power of play. I really want to tap into more of the play and embodiment and movements and things like that, once I'm able to actually move my body again and get into my yoga and ecstatic dance and all the things, and tapping it into a different way. So I love that we all have our niches. And I think that's so important in any field that you're in. Find what lights you up so that you can light up in other people, and that it shines through you for them, and that you can be like, a lot of times I always kind of see it as like a lighthouse. Like, how can you be a lighthouse and like shine your beacon of light so bright that it brings the people that you need to you, that sees you and goes, yeah, that's where I need to be going, right? Like, you become that safe harbor for them, that experience in those classes and those, transformational groups that you hold, to be able to be that safe harbor so that they can transfer and be able to get that light back in them.
Yes.
I
And
love
I don't know
that.
if you can see it, but I will grab it.
Yes.
This is the logo of my business. It is
Well,
a
of
lighthouse.
course. Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course, intuitively, that's what I felt like, you were doing, is being a lighthouse for people. Of course it is. Thank you, intuition.
You're welcome.
And I can't see that. Like, there's no way. That is hysterical.
Yeah, this is not showing up very well on camera tonight. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about your program on the 27th.
Yeah, it's going to be the 27th.
Yes.
So it's going to be an all day of inner child work. And we're going to have like what I call play work. So like, we'd have workbooks that we used to do. I call it play work. So we're going to have play work where we're going to, have a copy where you get to print and write. We're going to have some coloring. I have a friend that's doing a mandala book, coloring books. We're going to do some coloring. We're going to have some interactiveness. I'm going to teach people how to like clear and set their environment. I've been really leaning into having people understand that they need to take the healing into their own hands and create the environment for themselves to heal. Because a lot of times they would come to me to my practice because I had the twinkly lights and the aromatherapy and the crystals and, the sound therapy and the vibrational bed and all the stuff. So they loved the feel of the environment. We call it the Zen den is what I call my practice, my treatment room. Yeah. And I want people to be able to create their own Zen den. Like, in my new condo eventually that I get to go into has a loft and I'm calling it the Zen loft because that's going to be my work meditation space that I'll be doing, healings in. And so I think it's important to educate people on how to create the environment within their actual environment at home. And so I'll be teaching people how to set the environment for the healing, how to use their tools. A lot of people, will have crystals like, by my bedside, I have the crystals. They're like, but why do you have that? Or like, what's the purpose? And, what is it there for? So giving a little education on the importance of setting your environment up and for the healing, and then really deep diving into, and then also witnessing what people need to clear out to heal, and then really start then with the healing process. When I do the theta healing meditation, we'll work on the clearing and the refilling, and then the end of the day will really be about tapping into the play and other ways of aligned actions of what would fill them up to play, and then some actual interactive activities. So people will get a little gift box that sign up that will get the specific tools that they need, and then we'll email them what they're going to be working on for the worksheets and the coloring so that they can print it out in advance, and it'll be a really fun interactive day. We'll have breaks, we'll have share time, there's going to be a show and tell, there's going to be lots of fun stuff.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the whole point of my things is like I want it to be fun and fun. Like, remember when you were a little kid and you used to get so excited for show and tell, like you got to bring like that special thing, right? So I want there to be an aspect of show and tell where you get to bring something that's meaningful for you and tell the story of it, and again be witnessed in that experience and why that brings you joy, because I think that brings us connection. So yeah, while I'm not able to do my like normal retreats, I'm creating a day where we can kind of retreat and fill up for ourselves. So that's really what it's going to be about. And I know that you said that you had just been on a recent retreat. I'm like so missing being able to go on retreats. Obviously that's my biggest goal, is really to have this community of people that I can help facilitate and bring, because I've been to 107 countries. I love traveling. I love the world. I love retreats. I love experiences. And I think what's really cool about retreats is that immersion, right? Like you're totally submersed in it, in this like container. And I can't wait to getting back into that personally. Next fall, I'm looking at Puerto Rico, and then the following summer on a private yacht around the Croatian islands. So got some really awesome retreats coming up. Yeah, I've got some really fabulous things coming up. We all had to like pause and reset back, but it's still happening. And I love connecting with other people that might want to help, facilitate or know other places to hold retreats at. And I think that that's what's so powerful about this platform of connection is, there's things that you do and people that you connect with that could also benefit from mine and versus, and then we could get all of them together to do these amazing retreats. So what do you think? Because I always ask people, like you said, you got to embody some of those healing frequencies. Why do you think it's important to actually like go on the retreat, to experience it in person?
Well, I think any time that we can get out of our routine, habitual, everyday life. So it's a time to step back and step away. It's also a time to tune in. Because I know for myself, I can get really busy. I mean, I have traveled a lot over the last couple of weeks, and I've got 10,000 emails in my inbox. So, it's easy to spend hours and hours in front of the computer doing that kind of stuff. where when you're in retreat, you know, it's easier to unplug, to tune in. And like you said, there's something about being witnessed and being held and being seen and heard by your community. And I heard a beautiful quote: if you can name it, you can tame it. If you can feel it, you can heal it. If you can share it, you can bear it. And I think it's that last piece, that really sharing, because so many of us feel like our circumstances or the pain that we're going through is just ours, and that no one else has experienced it, or no one else understands it. And when you can share it and you can form a connection with someone else, and someone else feels seen and heard and felt that they're not the only ones going through this, that really makes the pain, I think, a lot more bearable.
100%. That's so true. And then the connections that you meet and with the people you have, I feel like those friends that you share that very unique healing experience with, you have that special bond that is forever there. You know, one of my best friends to this day I met at a retreat, and it's like, you know, at the end of the retreat, she's like, "You're going to be in my wedding." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, of course I am," you know, and then I really was at her wedding. Like, it was just like so funny. We're like talking in the sun. I'm like, "Yeah, of course I will be," you know, and then next thing you know, I'm like, you know, giving the speech at the rehearsal dinner, be like, "Hey, you never would have thought that I would accepted this exception in Switzerland in a sauna, would you?" But here I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, that bond,
like
is
you said, it just allows for a much deeper connection, and a much more authentic, what I think is as an authentic connection,
100%.
versus the "Hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you?" and going about your, you know, everybody goes about their day. You know,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to create this, was to take the time to actually, like, hey, what lights you up? What's your passion? What are your passion projects? Like let's actually get deep, like, because I'm tired of the superficial conversations. I'm ready for the real authentic conversations and getting to know people on a deeper level. So that's exactly why I created this interview series, was to get people, you know, talking and have a conversation and get to know people on a different level. So yeah, that's really true about retreats for sure. So one of my other favorite questions I love to ask is, why do you think a save the date is so important for people? Like, when we put out our programs and our things or our events, and then we put out, like, you know, the save the date sort of like flyer and information, what do you think is so important about that save the date for the people, or for ourselves, or for them, or any of it?
Well, I mean, as I said, I mean, I think we're all busy, and I think that it's very easy to let our calendars get overwhelmed with things. And I think a save the date can give us time to block out time for ourselves, especially when it is retreats, especially when it's classes that are going to refill you and bring you joy and light you up. I mean, and that's actually the yardstick I'm using for everything that I get invited to these days. It's like, I stop before I reply and just tune in and say, how is this resonating with me? And if it's my intuition, if my heart says, yes, this is where you need to be, then I block that time out on my calendar.
And I love that. That's such a good point. Ask, is this an energetic match for me? Right. Does this feel in alignment for me? And if it's a yes, then you're creating a sacred yes for yourself, for that energy to be in alignment. You put it onto your calendar, you commit to it, you set aside the time, and I always say that already begins the energy process. When you put it in there, that energy already starts moving and shifting to that thing. But it really is about making sure, I like that, ask first, is this in my highest and best? That's what I always tell my clients. You know, what do you need from them? What's in your highest and best? Is this an energetic match? And if it does, then if you've said your yes, then that's your sacred commitment for yourself, that sacred yes, to be able to put that energy, to put it on there. That's such a good point. I love that. Yeah. So for all of the things that are coming up, do you have a save the date for us to put on our calendars to be able to meet with you in person and connect? And remember, if you guys are watching this live, make sure you're putting hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And Ellen will be putting her links in for her coaching programs and her websites and everything. And if you do happen to have a save the date of something, let us know what it is now, and we'll also put it in the comments.
So my next save the date would be November 2nd for the self-love tune-up at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So again, we're skipping this Saturday, but we'll be back on November 2nd. And then I do not have a date yet, but the 5-week from Simply Surviving to Radically Thriving will start in November. I'm just waiting to see when I'm going to be moving to Florida so that I can fully be there and start the class. But it's a great class to get through the holidays, because I know a lot of people simply survive the holidays. And how would it be if you could radically thrive in yourself through the holidays?
That is such a good point, especially if there is any inner child wounding or family, or, you know, that with that alcoholism, a lot of people drink a lot more in the holidays just to survive through seeing the, you know, family members that trigger them and things like that. So yeah, people, the invitation will be, what would it look like to thrive through the holidays, to look forward to the holidays versus just getting through them, right? So I think that is a perfect time to be able to put that workshop together for people so that they can really have the tools to get them through it at a much more higher level and success, for sure. Love that. Amazing.
Well,
so she'll be,
and at some point I'd love to partner with you to add some of the body work to what I'm already doing. I think that would be a great partnership.
Yes. People love my body work, my fascial stretch. I can't wait. I teach yoga in such a different way, because I take that playfulness and that ecstatic dance and I kind of incorporate it in it. So if anybody's taken my yoga classes, I'm like, shake your asana, and we're like down in chair pose, you know, shaking our tushes around and stuff. And I love it. Yeah. So my yoga is like so fun. My ecstatic dance is so fun. I love my bowls. I like lay them on people when I do the sound healing, and I move them around, and it's a very experiential kind of experience. And that's why I need the legs strong again, so I can squat down and, you know, ring the bowls over people.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
I hope you have speedy healing healing on that leg, so you can get back to your full ecstatic life.
I know. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to my dance fam again, my ballroom dancing, my Argentine tango, my salsa, all the things. Oh, I can't wait. My zouk. Yes, and I love to teach people at retreats if they want to learn dancing, because I've had years of, you know, ballroom dance and different dance lessons. I think it is so fun not only do ecstatic, but if people wanted to learn some dance steps, you know, to do some partnering stuff, you know, it's just so fun. And again, it's all about play, embodying that healing. We got to heal it to feel it. Let's feel it, and let's remember that it feels good to feel good, and that we need to take healing into our own hands, empower ourselves, get the right facilitators and healers that are in our alignment, say those sacred yeses to the save the dates, and then take the time to actually retreat. I always tell people retreat is different than a vacation. You never come back from a retreat saying, I need a vacation from my vacation. You're not saying, oh my God, I need to retreat from my retreat. No, you've actually retreated. Like, you feel refreshed.
You come back, refreshed, energized, clear, focused, all of that.
Exactly, ready to go. Well, Ellen, it was such a pleasure to chat with you today. If there was one thing that you wanted to end the audience with, what is the one thing that you wish you could have told yourself, your younger version of you, that you know now that you could have heard back then? What would be that one message?
That it's all going to work out. To just keep the faith and keep the playfulness, keep the focus on what you want, and just allow life to unfold.
Yes. And with those magical words, from my heart to yours, much light and love, peace, and namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.